What are you
Dog,
doing?
I'm in a wicked choppy mood. Like, did you see that last minute? We had a T-ball. And Sergey, yeah, yeah. What a main event. Can you believe Sergey getting it done? The top rope. It worked. It's only the second time. I was happy he walked out. Everything was good. What
All
a main event.
right.
What a show. What a show tonight.
All right. Can you hear us? We had to do a lot of last minute stuff to get on all platforms here. So let us know if you can hear us. Type 1 in chats, whatever platform you're on. Just let us know that you can hear us and the audio's perfectly fine.
Chop that one button. Oh, I almost made a two-pinner behind me. I must knock the pins over. Chop it.
Wouldn't be the first time you did that.
I never make two-pinners. I always bust out the front one. You know that. The only time I can make them is when I bump the table with my chair.
1 plus the chops. Perfect. I'll take
Hiya!
that. I'll take that.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, folks. We are running a little bit late. We just found out that you can't have two streams going on at once on a couple of these platforms. So we had to wait for the RMP to be officially done before we can set up our stuff and start doing other things on those platforms. So that looks like it's going to be the trend. So we're probably going to be live roughly around 10:05, 10:10 on the East Coast, which would be like 8:05, 8:10 Mountain Time. So
It's like old school superstation times. Everything was 7:05 and 8:05. We'll make it 10:05 on the East Coast and
yeah.
we should be good. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Dudes and Belts Reignited Post Show here on Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble. I am your host, Johnny Deathdrop, as always, and what a ignition we just saw just moments ago. That main event had full of chops like you wouldn't believe. Yep.
Every angle on the sides, in
On
the
the
oh
top
man,
rope.
off the top rope. We have one coming off of this regular rope. There was just chops everywhere, man.
It's not.
Outstanding.
It's
Chop
nine.
fest.
It's 9:09 where I'm at. So, Jason, you
His
must
clock,
be in the Midwest or the Central Time Zone. I had to take a
I think his
guess.
clock's 4 minutes fast anyway. Actually, it
Four
is
minutes.
10:10 here on the East Coast.
Yeah. What are you talking
It's
about?
10:10 now. Well, 9:09. We're doing the '05 thing, so his clock's 4 minutes fast.
All right.
I did math. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be doing math on the show.
And with me tonight, of course, he is going to be one of the permanents of Reignited because he's not on recharge for a little while
Right.
now. He is your resident masshole himself, the one and only Marky Pins.
That's me. What's up, everybody? Dude, what an ignition. I'm still all chopped up and fired up from everything we saw tonight. A couple debuts, a couple awesome Lockettes matches this evening, and that main event was absolutely killer. The tag team match, yo, we got some Echo and Brew to talk about here a little bit. Lot to unravel tonight, so
We
stay
had a
right where
couple
you
of
are. Go grab a
debuts
cold
too.
beverage. That's what I said. Couple debuts here. There's a lot to unpackage tonight, so take a seat, grab a snacky like Derek Stone did, walked away from the table, missed a hell of a main event. So grab your snacky, grab a drink, come on back. We'll be right here.
All right. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get right down to the nitty gritty here, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right. First things first, coming out of the gate, he made his debut on Charge this past Tuesday. Jay Camacho. He starts off Ignition as he goes one-on-one with Jason Knoll.
Yeah. Jason almost acted like this was an inconvenience type of a match, really kind of messing around with Jay. You know, young kid making his debut on Ignition, looking good. He's got the look, he's got the speed. He's just an empty XP bar. He's learning. He's just got to get these matches under his belt. But man, way to make debuts in Rocky Mountain Pro, huh, Johnny? People usually get tossed to the biggest fish in the ocean, and Jason Knoll certainly qualifies as one of those XP fishes, I'll tell you right now. And he manhandled Jay through most of this match. Jay tried everything he could to fight out of it, get some headlocks, get some shots to the body, but it just wasn't enough. Everything was Jason Knoll in this match. That press slam where he like just basically just pushed him up 4 or 5 times, threw him down, and then the sky high from the 4th floor of the Wimmer, which is crazy because it only has 1 floor. So do that math, how far he came down. And Jason Knoll gets a win here. Jay Camacho put in the maximum effort, the Macho Camacho effort. Let's put it that way. But
The Macho Camacho.
all that effort, man, every little bit that he had, but it was not enough against Jason Knoll. Looking sharp. No wasted energy here, too, out of Jason. The only thing I saw a little bit too much jaw jacking with the referee. But in a match like this, he had that kind of time where his power moves were enough where even if Jay got a breath or two in his lungs, it wasn't going to help while he was barking at Ref Benny. So Jason Knoll gets the big win here against the debuting Jay Camacho. Looking forward to seeing some more of the kid. He looked good on charge the other night. Looked good for the first 30 seconds of this match, too, before Jason took over. But that Sky High puts a lot of people down, man. And tonight, Jay was one of those guys. So Jay gets the big win.
I mean, it was definitely a much needed win for Jason Knoll. I mean, all things considered. I know it was a. Okay, apparently I need to mute my phone. I know it was a debuting Jay Camacho on Ignition and all that stuff, and obviously there was a huge XP difference in terms of experience, but at the same time, Jason Knoll's been on a losing streak as of late, so no matter what, a win's a win, and it's going to get him motivated and keep him maybe on the right track in the future. Because, I mean, he still plans on doing big things. At least that's what he said. He's demanding respect. And, you know, I know this is kind of not really the ideal win for him to start off, but a win is a win. And, you know, Jay Camacho put in a hell of an effort. Good kid. Got a nice future ahead of him. But Jason Knoll with the victory here and getting back in the win column.
You know, and maybe in an odd way for Jason, he needed this standout type win. Granted, against a man half his size and 1/100th his XP bar. But if he didn't go out and put up such a dominant performance against such a new competitor, there might have been some of the veterans in the locker room that would have looked at him even more sideways potentially. So maybe this.
Imagine if he lost this match.
You know what I'm saying? So maybe like he went up and really put all of the boots to Jay in this match. Maybe that was his way of looking at the guys in the back saying, listen, this could be you, but you better respect me because I can do this. And maybe some of the veterans in the back really needed to see that. So I don't know. We'll have to see where this goes for Jason, but it's still a win in the column. They don't ask how, they just ask how many, to be honest. And this is a one for the good for Jason.
All right. Let's keep the ball rolling here. We had some Lockets action to talk about here. We had Lilith Grimm. Been on a little bit of an absence, you know, taking some time off after her defeat and losing the Lockets championship to Adrian Mascaro, which we will see later on this evening. She goes on and takes on her former best friend, Noelle.
And we know the history here through the asylum, through everything that conniving man Salem Wolf did to manipulate everything and get everybody on his side. And Noelle still lost from it, and we remember Noelle trying to bring her back and trying to save her, and it was Noelle that turned on Lilith and actually broke the whole thing up. Lilith did everything she could, and Noelle was the one that broke that up. But even in this match, as we go through the match, right, like Lilith does have the power no matter what. Like, these are obvious things, and she uses it quite often in the match to keep control. But I noticed, and a bunch of other people on commentary, everybody else, that there were times when it seemed like Lilith was trying to like talk to Noelle during this match, trying to, you know, what are you doing? Why are you still here? Not here in the match, but why is your brain still somewhere else? Like, why Salem's not here? You could tell that she was kind of murmuring.
Noelle's lost right now.
Right. She really is lost. Like, everything that she believed in before that brought her to the marionette has faded. It's gone. You know, those doors closed to that asylum, and she's kind of stuck outside without a key to get back in. Lilith really trying to get back at her friend and just try to be like, listen, kid. And every time she does, though, Noelle turns up the volume with the strikes and just ignores it and kind of fights through it. Does a lot to give everything to Lilith that she can, but Lilith keeps trying. Even in the corner, we see a moment where she gets Noelle in the corner and she's just going to throw either a straight right or, you know, bring it in for a four. And she paused, like right here at the, you know, the point of no return, and just kind of hesitated, and Noelle capitalized on it, and she did not hesitate and put the boots to Lilith in the corner big time. But then Lilith kind of comes to a point where it's like, all right, I tried. And No more of that garbage. She sees a hot shot, and then the Lilitine. You're not getting up from the Lilitine, man. You get your head pounded into the canvas 7 times, turned over and pinned. It's over. And Lilith wins. But even after the match, Lil still goes over to try to help Noelle up. So this whole match, like Lilith has out there wrestling, looking good, Johnny. But really, I think trying to reach Noelle back and Noelle not wanting any part of it. And Lilith just kind of walks away and says, all right, I'm taking this win, and takes the win.
At this point, Noelle's her own worst enemy right now. The only thing that Lilith, I think, can only do if she's still going to try and pursue this friendship with Noelle is just let her be and let her learn on her own at this point. Because, I mean, let's face it, she's compared to where she was at the beginning of this year, she's more distraught and lost and mentally not there that I don't think any sane person could possibly get her to think clearly at this point. I mean, Noelle has been through a lot over the past few months. Actually, not a few months, mainly the entire year between the friendship with Lilith, then the alignment with Salem and the Asylum and JC and everything that
We're
was
almost
going
going on
on.
a year
You
of
also
all
got
of
to
that. Yeah.
remember. You also got to remember when that kind of transition happened with Noelle. That was when we saw probably one of the better performances of Noelle in recent history. You know what I mean? It seemed like she got better over time when she was aligned with the Asylum. Now the Asylum's no more. She's by herself. And I don't know where Noelle goes from here. All that I know is that I'm sure a lot of these Lockets eyeing Adrian at some point down the line, especially Lilith, especially what happened at NRW with her
Yep.
losing the title to Adrian. You know that she's looking forward to that. There's just a lot of uncertainty between um, the Lockets as it pertains to what's coming. And again, it's only a matter of time before we see Lilith back in the picture. But as of right now, Noelle is just a lost doll wandering around the valley right now, just trying to find a home. It seems like she's trying to find a home right now, or she's trying to find a purpose in a way.
I think that's a good way to say it, because I think she had one when Salem and the Asylum were there. JC, she fit in. She felt, JC was a champ. She was learning under JC, but she also had, I guess in her own way, like Salem's mentorship to kind of keep her on that even keel when I say that compared to what Salem Wolf's even keel was. But we saw Noelle go from Noelle to Noelle during that time, and she really improved. She turned up the volume, the aggression. Well, she's still there now. She's at that same point, but there's nobody there now to rein her in and kind of show her the next direction to keep going, to raise that XP bar to that next level. It's almost like her XP bar got caught in the middle of here to there, and she needs somebody or something to help her go forward. Because I think you're right. Ever since it's been there, she went to a place, but now she doesn't know how to get to the next place, and she's stuck in this purgatory that is her mind right now. So something's got to change for her, but Lilith Grimm looking good in a match, did everything she could, come back, and then just took the match.
And like I said earlier, like she obviously had some time off and she's getting back into the swing of things. Big victory for her going forward. And
Yes.
we all know that her eyes are set towards Adrian in that Lockets championship. It's inevitable at this point that Lilith is going to be pursuing that title once again. I mean, especially the way that she lost it, and after grinding that whole entire way for over two and a half, almost 3 years at this point, just to grab that title finally, and then for her to just end up losing it just like that, you know that she's going to be full steam ahead towards that number one contendership at some point.
Oh, no doubt. That's still first and foremost on her mind, is getting that title back. Yes, she understands. I'm sure there's a ladder to climb. There's steps that are going to have to be taken, but tonight was a very, very big first step for her.
All right, moving on here. We got a couple of debuts to talk about here in the next couple matches. One, Joey Hendricks. I feel like we've seen Joey Hendricks before, but I don't think we've
We
seen
have.
him. Yeah, I think
It
he
was
was a part of a pay per view. I want to say it was Peak of the Pack last year, maybe.
I think it
Um,
was yeah, maybe early last year, somewhere, maybe.
yeah, it
I
was a
don't think it
triple
was on
threat,
an
I think, at
ignition, but
some
I'm almost
point.
positive we've seen him
Yeah, no,
before. The Love Gun. Once I heard his nickname of the Lug
yes,
is Monica, I'm like, no, we've seen this kid.
but this is his
Yeah,
debut
I don't
on.
mind seeing him again. He
No,
was
no,
good.
no. I mean, I believe this is his debut on weekly programming for Rocky Mountain Pro. So this is technically a debut for him. So Joey Hendricks taking on Panthro here. And like you said, man, Joey Hendricks, great look and
Yeah,
very talented.
he
I
brought
don't
the
know what your
goods.
thoughts are here.
We're very torn, right? Because we know Panthro as the best $5 Walmart bucket movie star ever, right?
Those
Ever. You
five
go to
dollars
Walmart.
add up, dude.
It takes a lot, but I'm telling you, yeah, maybe the exchange rate in Dominican
See,
Republic,
now
where he's
you're
from,
thinking. Now you're
that's got to
thinking.
be what. Because when we go to Canada for bowling, that's the first thing I think of. What's the exchange rate right
Is the
now?
exchange
So
rate?
that
Yep.
has to be right. So that has to be what's going on here with this one. But I remember Joey from the first time. Not every move, but I remember he was very impressive, and he brought the same kind of like fight to Panthro. He's very, very good. The kid's cut. He took Panthro to a limit. Actually, Joey Hendricks endeared himself so much to the crowd that everybody was cheering and chanting for Panthro.
Which
So that
never
kind of tells
happens.
you,
Never
no,
happens.
no, that kind of tells you that the kid has all the goods in between the ropes, but he's a knucklehead kind of between the ears. And we see a
We
lot of
have
that
plenty
through
of
the match.
those.
There are, and this, dude fits in pretty good here. Like I said, got a good look. He's got a good character. He's got a good presence about him in the ring. And Panthro, I don't think took him lightly, but Joey just took the moment, the aggression on the kid from moment one when he finally got it going. It took a throat chop to get it going because Panthro starts out pretty good. But then the throat chop comes in. But then I'm telling you, he comes up with some fluid combos. That splash neckbreaker combination looked awesome. Big knees in the corner, really putting it to Panthro here. He's having a real hard time. But his one downfall in this match, he could have had this match won, I think, personally, within the first like 2-3 minutes of the match. But he kept pandering to the crowd. He kept shaking his hips. He kept yelling at the people in the crowd, giving Panthro a couple seconds to get a few more breaths of air in the lungs. And I don't think if Joey knows, but cats have 9 lives. So even if you take one or two of them away in a corner, Panthro's going to go back down into that, like, Lord Mitchell Taylor's, like, life bag or whatever he pulls out of his crap. And he's going to pull another one out. And Panthro does a good job. He fires up, and we see the cat splashes all around the ring. And this is after Joey's really, really taking it to Panthro. Panthro's in a hard way for most of this match. But then he fires up at the end, and we see the big three-corner splash, and then the nice X Factor at the end. It was nice and crisp. It was really nice. And then the big crossbody coming off the ropes. And he did pull his tights at the end. We got to acknowledge it. We got to 100% say Panthro pulled the tights here. So maybe the kid has a decent gripe to come back and say, I want a rematch against that cat. Kid made me sneeze the entire time. I want a rematch. But I got to say, both looked very impressive against each other. I think the kid took Panthro to a place he wasn't ready for. Panthro, not really familiar with outside talent like Joe. What was your opinion of Joey Hendricks in this? I think it's similar to mine, but what did you think of the
Oh,
kid?
very similar. I mean,
Yep.
the look is great, and
Yep.
the way he conducts himself in the ring is controversial to say the least, at least to the RMP
That's fair.
faithful. But
That's fair.
at the same time, he can back it up. And
So fair.
obviously, like you said towards the end, grabbing the tights and all that stuff, and he does have a gripe, but at the same
Good.
time, if you've seen Pancho before, you have to expect stuff like that. So if you're somebody from the outside that's going into a place like Rocky Mountain Pro and you have a little heads up on who your opponent's going to be that week, I would do a little bit of film study or at least kind of pay attention to a match or two of Panthros, and maybe you'll figure out that he doesn't always play by the rules as much.
You got to be ready
Um,
for that kind of stuff.
exactly. I mean, we preached it when JK Pop was still a thing too, and
Yep.
way back during the wake and stuff like that. Like we preached like all the stuff that they could do. Just make sure you just have two eyes in the back of your head, because JK Pop is notorious for stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's all just new to Joey. New locker room, new atmosphere. Didn't know what to expect from Panthro. Had a great match, great debut. Um,
Agreed.
Unlucky with the tights grabbing at the end by Panthro for Panthro to get the victory, but I still say that the debut was a success for Joey Hendricks, and I hope we see him in the future.
I agree. But I mean, to be honest, like I also said, he might have had a better chance at winning this match if he was a little less busy yelling at the people and a little busier pinning Panthro. So things have a way of unraveling and coming back. You miss one
He
opportunity,
seems like
you
a
might lose
young
the whole
kid
thing.
too, you know.
He does.
So I
He does.
mean, there's probably still
Maybe
a
that's an
lot.
XP bot thing.
There's probably
Yep.
still a lot of learning that he needs to do and stuff like that. But again, I thought he had a great debut, and
Yeah.
like I said, and I hope these at least recently all these debuts that we've seen, and we're going to talk about another one coming up. We've seen a
Another
lot of
good one.
very good debuts, and the consensus is mainly the same. I mean, these guys have come up and they performed above expectation for us, at least. I don't know about the RMP faithful. I can't say for them, but at least for the dudes and belts, most of these guys have performed above and beyond our expectations, and we hope that they stick around, and we hope we see them more often here at Rocky Mountain Pro.
Because the standard is pretty high
It
at
is.
Rocky Mountain Pro. The standard is very, very high. And you walk in and have good competitive matches like this. Yo, we'll talk nice about you, but you were a knucklehead. You should have pinned him a couple more times. I don't know what to tell you.
But yeah, I like Joey Hendricks. I hope he sticks around. Same with Devin Reno, and we're going to talk about
Yes.
Devin Reno right now as he takes on the Remy D, the national treasure himself. Marky,
This was cool. You like it?
I like it.
Yeah.
I very much like this one.
So, we've been watching a lot of the rewind lately. We've been doing the rewind, kicking it back to the old
Yeah.
NRW days. And they
Every
even
Sunday
referenced
at 7 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. I'd give that cheap plug. Go right ahead, sir. Sorry for
I
the
set you
interruption.
up. Dude, I set you up perfectly for that. That wasn't even an interruption. That was me setting it up and you knocking it down.
That's 3
But
years of experience right there, baby.
yeah, it is, kid. Tag. Tag. Come on in. Devin Reno gave me wicked Jesse Williams vibes. If you've been watching the old school and you've seen Jesse Williams, you know he was one of the first NRW champions. He walked in and would just run roughshod, and the great feuds with the superstar, with Mercury Yaden back in the day, with Jason Knoll back in the day. This guy gave me a wicked Jesse Williams vibe, and he comes in against Remy D, and all the knuckleheadedness of Jesse Williams had nothing to do with this because this kid fought like a Jesse Williams. Devin is a big, imposing force. He reminds me of like a linebacker from like a football team. Heavy shoulder tackles. The guy he just dives right into people. Like he doesn't have any like volume speed. It's just on and off. That's it. And really, really good. He answers a whole lot of Remy's power in the beginning with his own big power shots in the corner. Very big, impressive. He's got that athletic build to him, just unbelievable. And he shows a lot of good smarts too. He's got Remy down in a nice reverse chin lock. And Remy's trying to kind of wiggle out of it but Devin keeps adjusting his center of gravity and his body weight, holding him down. So he's just making Remy use a lot of extra energy. So the kid's showing that he's been in the ring more than twice, doing a real good job. He's got, much like Joey Hendricks, he's got the great look. He's got the in-ring ability. He's a big man. He matches up well against a lot of the big guys at Rocky Mountain, like Remy D. I think he'd match up well against the Damon Ace. Even a Jason Knoll, like another big dude. But really great in the match. The only thing he missed one big diving knee drop, and he really hurt his knee, and Remy went to school on it. He goes right back to the knee. Big fire. He gets that nice little slingshot arm drag from the top rope, and then just bang. Nice big grapevine. Nice stretch on the knee. Not his patented figure eight. He didn't get that in there. He didn't get any of his other move, not the snap, crackle, pop. But he just grapevined a guy's leg. He just went to school, and Remy's showing his smarts. There's an injured body part. There's a guy just as big, if not a little bigger than me. Go after that body part. And he did. And Devin tapped and he hobbled out of the arena. Remy D doing the right thing, looking really good. Devin Reno, another impressive debut here in Rocky Mountain Pro, John. This is outstanding. This has been really good. I feel bad for Jay. Jason Knoll didn't give him a shot to be as impressive as these guys were. But both of these guys were like absolutely outstanding.
How many moves does Remy have in his arsenal to be able to finish an opponent?
I think it's all of them.
I think it's all of them.
He's so much versatility. And that's so clutch. You never know what's coming. You can't prepare for it. You got to prepare for 9 finishes. And then he'll hit you with the 10th one that he's been practicing for the last 2 months that nobody knows about. Remy D just bringing character, charisma, and just absolute knowledge to the ring.
It's amazing what a year can do to somebody. And Remy D is that guy that has gone way above and beyond probably our expectations for sure. But I mean, he took that and went up a whole nother level this year. And we know he lost the Charge Championship in Milestone and all that stuff. But I mean, he's coming back with a vengeance. And again, it's the adaptivity of Remy D and the trying to think of the right word to say. It's on my mind. I can't say it because
he is like the most resourceful guy in a pinch.
Yeah.
When it comes down
around
to
that line, yeah.
Yeah.
There was another word I was thinking of, and I just can't remember it. But resourceful, I guess, is a good secondary word for it. And I mean, he can finish you in all different styles. He can beat you straight up, ground and pound. He can outmaneuver you with some of his reversals. He can go on the ground and use the submission game on you. We've seen the figure 8. We saw this leg submission, this like head scissors with the leg and stuff like that he just did tonight. Yeah. It's just, I've never seen a guy that had so many ways to beat an opponent before. And that's what makes Remy D so unique as a wrestler and as a performer, because you literally, if you're watching tape of Remy D right now, and say you're CBD right now and you're watching this match, and that's the first time you've seen that finisher, but you've also seen him do the figure 8 and the snap crackle pop and the drive-by and all these other moves that he has in his arsenal, and it's like, how do I prepare for a guy like Remy D? Because he purposely changes his strategy almost every match.
So smart. So smart.
That's why Remy D is almost unbeatable right now, because you just don't know what he's going to throw at you. You have no clue until you step in there. And at that point, it's too late, because Remy already has the game plan. And he ain't going to show his card until it's on the table. So that's what makes Remy D so special. And I think Remy D, out of this class that's here at Rocky Mountain Pro, he's one of the top dogs right now for that reason, because of how how unpredictable he is and how versatile he is. And Devin Reno, you can't knock him at all. He had one hell of a debut tonight against Remy D. Very good match. I honestly think this match was the match of the night, in my opinion.
It's really good.
And he just, for a guy like Devin to go in there, and there were times where I thought Devin was going to get the upper hand and possibly pull off an upset. But again, Remy out of nowhere just comes up with something that we've never seen before, that I'm sure Devin's never seen before. And it was over. It's amazing to see Remy D over this past year and a half, that he's been an active competitor ever since he got injured and he recovered from that Achilles injury. It's been fun to watch, and we can't wait for the future for Remy D. Hopefully it's against CBD, and CBD, gets his ass kicked by Remy D, but
he definitely deserves it. Oh, he earned it. He absolutely earned what is coming. to him.
But
So
yeah,
that'll be fun to watch. But no, I want to touch on one quick little thing, and maybe we can have a quick little talk about it afterwards. But it seemed like for me anyway, watching all of this, watching Remy since he's come back, a lot really changed when he had his war with Sledge over the Charge Championship. When he came out of that on top as the Charge Champion, Remy,
milestone. Yeah,
milestone 12.
12.
He really came out of this shell and he started turning up the volume so many different ways. We had seen the figure eight, but then he started debuting the snap crackle pop, his like standing leg drop that he does, and then through the Curtis Cole thing that really twisted his head and made him go to another place where he learned to add a little aggression, turn the volume up on that. He's been turning up volumes in different aspects of his game. And now seeing him here close to the latter half of 2023 here, he's on top. I'm not going to say untouchable, but he is absolutely on top. And Remy D is his own limit to wherever Remy D wants to go. And good for the kid. I'm glad for him. I'm good to see him having great matches, coming out on top. Because like you said, Devin gave him a run in this match. And there was a point where you'd kind of believe that if he hit that knee drop, things could have been over. Remy just getting out of dodge and the new finish, or was it maybe just a quick moment in time decision? That's the knee he just landed on. Let me grab it and wrap it, and it worked because Devin had no choice but to tap like 3 seconds later.
If that's the case, then Remy D's IQ is even better than we think.
I think it is. I think it's far beyond what we've seen. Because not every magician shows you every trick that they know the first time or even the 10th time that you've seen them, let alone tell you how he did it.
Hard work and studying pays off in this game. Remy D is the perfect example.
Damn straight.
All right. Moving on here. We had more Lockout Jackson action. God, yeah, I've had a long day. To talk about here. Lola the Adventurer going up against Adrian Mascara Lockett's Championship. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you're on YouTube, Adrian now has an emote on YouTube.
So that happened pretty quick. During the show, we had one of the faithful asking about an Adrian emote. And
I saw the hashtag and I'm like, okay.
Shortly thereafter, we have a wicked cool Adrian emote now for whenever you're on. Throw him up in the chat. Let's see him here. In my mind, this match, Adrian and Lola, this was the most back and forth match all night long. Neither could really gain that permanent advantage to just keep themselves going and really keep the other. But instead, both kind of tended to just wear each other down as the match went on. And sometimes when that happens, we tend to see somebody make a mistake and the other person capitalize on the mistake. And we didn't necessarily see a mistake, but we saw Adrian later in the match just keep that fourth quarter energy that they used to call it in football, where at the very end you could come up and win that game at the very last second, even though you're huffing and puffing, because Lola and Adrian really took each other to a limit. There was so many reversals, so many extra roll-ups out of a chin lock and everything. Both showed that they have XP, and both were trying to, kind of out-reverse and out-move each other. Adrian, if you had to look back on it, in my opinion, might have had the 60-40 edge here, but Lola had the distinctive edge in like reversals and getting out of some of these moves. And even towards the end, during the course of the match, I kind of saw Lola like a weird, I don't know, maybe it was just me. I saw her have this like weird demeanor on her face, almost like she was enjoying the beating. Not getting hit, but like
you mean
giving
she's
it
getting
back.
aggressive?
We've seen it lately a little bit here and there, because we've talked. You can go back and listen to us talk about some of Lola the Adventure's matches in the last couple months. And yeah, she kind of turned up a little bit of the volume, maybe from like 5 to 6.5. In this match, she started turning it up to like 8, 8.5, and walking around with that kind of smirk on her face after she kind of gained an upper hand. That's a little un-Lola.
So put it this way.
I've been watching.
So the way I see it is Lola has probably looked at 2023, knowing that she had multiple chances to win the Locust Championship, failed both times,
Yep,
was on a roll for the first quarter of this year, then
was.
started going down on a losing trend, and then ever since then there's been all this, the roller coaster up and down. You think maybe Lola has finally figured out that she just needs to be aggressive and just needs to not worry about the RMP faithful and what they think about her? Maybe she's starting to, take that Locust championship more seriously.
Judging by this performance tonight against the Lockett's champion, Adrian Mascara herself, yes. Honestly, look back throughout the year. You've seen Noelle turn up the volume. Granted, because of the asylum stuff that manipulated her head, but the volume
But she
nevertheless was turned up.
improved. She
And that's where I'm
improved.
getting at. She
Yeah.
improved drastically. You see Adrian come in, and Adrian goes with reckless abandon. Not in a
She
way,
just skyrocketed, and she's still on
well,
that path.
because she came in with that volume already turned up to 12.
Mm-hmm.
Look at an Adrian Mascara match. I need more cardio just to watch an Adrian Mascara match half of the time. So you see all of these people, these other Lockettes that are rising through the ranks and they're getting wins. They change their demeanor. Lola is still coming out with the backpack and the jungle music, and she's kind of getting like bypassed a little bit here after she did have a great year, but things have slowly started to turn as the
Oh, I'm
law
not saying
office
that.
stuff
Yeah,
would take a no,
yeah. I'm not saying
I'm
that
getting.
Lola had a bad year whatsoever. Because I mean,
I know that,
you have two chances at the Locust Championship. You had to earn those chances one way or the other.
and she did. Well, one of them she earned. The other one was Preston's massaging
That
of the given
well, I mean,
situation.
there was a gripe there.
But
There was
that's
a
why you
legit
go to
gripe
Preston.
there. Yeah.
Well, that's why she went to Preston, and things happened, and they were the things that happened, and now we're in the beginning of September, and Lola's having a hard time. I don't want to say she's getting left behind, but I want to say that the other Lockettes are rising. The stock is rising around her. And I think that she saw that this was a big moment against the champ. And she went up and threw everything she had at the champ. As a matter of fact, at the very end, she had Adrian up in the X marks. She was ready to drop her down on her head. 1, 2, 3. Maybe get a victory over the champ. That's immediate conversation for at least a potential match or a number one contenders match anyway. But Adrian turns the volume up again, man. And instead of getting out of it, she just tosses, shows some great power while she's not in the advantageous position to just toss Lola away from her. And then no wait, no hesitation, just jumped on for the jackknife pin, hooks both the legs, 1, 2, 3. And Adrian Mascara gets the win. Lola, this probably, in my opinion, we could talk about this. This was probably the most aggressive that we've seen her, and the most that she's kind of not worried about it, I guess is one way to say it, where she looks and isn't getting too aggressive with her opponent, especially if somebody she's semi-friends with. She has to drop that. She has to drop the worry about I'm friends with somebody. Look, we saw a main event with two guys that were friends with each other, and somebody still won that match because they had no choice but to. You have to drop that and eventually just go after that match, especially if you're in the ring, even non-title, against a woman who has the title that you are chasing. And Lola's, I think, figuring it out, but Adrian had the extra step tonight to get the win. So Adrian goes forward. Where does Lola go from here? What do you think?
Where does Lola go from here?
Yeah.
She needs to sit down and really contemplate what direction she wants to go in. Like I said, she experienced what happened this year. She had a lot of ups and a lot of downs.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you want to go if you're Lola? Do you still want to be that crowd pleaser, that happy-go-lucky Lockette that, we'll find a way to win and we'll win a few matches here or there, but can't win the big one when it counts? Or is she going to turn up the volume to 11? Is she going to get aggressive if she's not going to give a flying bleep, if you know what I mean, about the RMP fight? I wish I still had my goddamn button.
The GD button.
Yeah.
It's the GD button.
But is she going to just kind of throw the RMP faithful aside and really start focusing on herself and really actually become that force that we know that she's capable of being at times. We've seen it. I don't know. I have a funny feeling that she's like holding it back for whatever reason. Maybe it's just maybe if she ends up going to that next level, is she worried about how people are going to think about her? You know what I mean? I honestly think, in my opinion, she just needs to go 110% and screw what everybody else thinks about Lola. I want that title. I want that. I want that extra spotlight. I want that extra cash that the champions get every match. You know what I mean? So
What was that thing that Razor Ramon said or Scott Hall said a long time ago? You can come here to make friends, or you can come here to win championships and get money.
yep.
He chose option B. You want friends? Friends are cool. You can make your friends, but eventually it's just you coming down at the end to make yourself a number one contender or get yourself in there. If Lola's going to have to do something for herself, because she only could get so far
Because when
as
she
doing things the
flips
way
that
she did.
switch, when she shows a little bit of that aggressiveness, Lola's hard to beat.
She's shown it. She's very resourceful as well. She's shown it.
I
Not
mean,
consistently.
no,
If
and
she could turn up the aggression consistently, we may be having a very different conversation 4 6 months from now.
and imagine if that
You know,
happens. Imagine if Noelle ends up finding her mindset down the road. You know, God only knows Noelle. Noelle is probably the most unpredictable person in Rocky Mountain Pro right now, besides
agreed.
maybe a David Drake
Yeah.
and a Balaam Lynx at the moment. But like other than that, like Noelle is the wild card, and if she can end up finding a place, or if she can get her stuff worked out, if Lola can continue this aggressiveness that we've seen her show from time to time, maybe there's something there for Lola. We all know what Lilith can do. I mean, it's evident. And Adrian is just literally on a rocket ship that's just going north, and it's just skyrocketing to the moon right now. She came out of literally nowhere.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden burst on the scene, and now, in a matter of a few months, is on top of the Lock S division. So a lot of stuff can happen.
She's taken RMP by storm.
She
Ever
is.
since she debuted, she really has the aggression, the adrenaline. The crowd loves her. She gets out there. She doesn't play a lot. She doesn't pander a lot. She just goes out and gets it done. She celebrates at the end, and she has the Lockettes title to celebrate with now, just because of all of those things. All of those things wrapped into one.
Lock S division is going to be a division to watch for at the end of 2023, going into 2024. That's for sure. All
Amen to
right.
that.
Moving on to the semi-main event here, we had Smoke and Mirrors going up against Echo and Brew.
I love that they do the Bill and Ted air guitar. It's amazing. When I have a product of the 80s, man, like a huge Bill and Ted fan. This match was pretty good. Okay. I gotta say something, because the crowd, the chat during the show was very, very against Echo and Brew, and I wasn't here.
Oh, as they should be.
I wasn't here Tuesday night on Recharged, and watching that and watching this tonight. I'm not a fan, because I'm an Echo fan. I was an Echo fan. Now I'm not too happy with Echo. Like, can anybody deny them anything? Right? These guys have very quickly, Echo with the troubling situation he had in La Isla and how that ended horribly. And
That no one
Brew
knew
has had
about
well,
until
nobody had to, because Echo told all of us in his due time. And we found out that Echo had been dealing with this in his head for a long, long time. And here comes Brew dealing with something in his head for a very, very long time, too. It's almost like a kindred spirit kind of thing, where we didn't really see it coming last week on Ignition, but now we see it. We saw it on Charge. We see it tonight. They're a pair. They're not some two random guys that got put together. No, they upstairs, I think they're absolutely both completely in sync, and that is dangerous That is dangerous. Look, I'm not a fan of the path that they've taken, but they are dangerously accurate to keep your eyes on, because do not take your eyes off of them. Because very soon you'll have to be in a match against them. You have two completely different styles in the big man Brew, and you have the Mockingbird Echo. Well, no, he's not the Mockingbird anymore. He is Echo Boosin, and he is letting us know that he is different. These guys have changed, and not for the better for us, but for the betterment of their tag team careers. I have to give them that as an objective journalist. After that, I'm extremely disappointed that these guys chose this way to do it. But that's not for me to comment, because it doesn't matter. What matters is what happened in the ring tonight. And in the ring tonight was a tale of two different stories. It was a tale of smoke and mirrors working well again, as per usual. Quick tags in the corner. They've done very well in their young career on Echo, when they had Echo in the corner. When it was Brew, however, Brew had what they call in Madden the playmaker ability, right? Soon as he comes in the ring, the next move changes the tone. Immediately changes the tone, whether it's one chop, whether it's one punch. Brew has that game changer about him now. Not that he didn't before, but Brew coming in the ring, the paint is different, the demeanor is different. They worked a slow, impactful, paced match. Smoke and Mirrors kept trying to quick it up, but every time Brew came in that ring, it did not matter. The impact was too much. And at the end, it was the combination of both. We see the Buffalo Run getting rid of Cushman on one side, and then you see McDiamond taking the double foot stomp from the top rope while he was standing, like on his back. Echo got him right in the spine, and McDiamond just went down like a freaking pancake. And they get the 1, 2, 3. And Echo and Brew are nobody to mess with, in the masshole's opinion right now. We could debate their morality all they want, but they are nobody to mess with right now. And in the tag team scene, there are a few, but I honestly feel Echo and Brew have surpassed anything Smoke and Mirrors have done, and they're approaching the level of where La Isla was after a little while of La Isla early, because of the aggression and the way that they're going about their business. I think this is going to be detrimental to a lot of tag teams in RMP. Smoke and Mirrors gave it everything they could tonight, but tag team division is on notice of Echo and Brew right now.
If I'm Chopper City, man, I'd be a little worried.
I'm saying.
Now, going back to Echo Boosin and Brew, what we were talking about before you got into the match, do you honestly, and I haven't had a chance to talk to you about this yet, I talked to the other guys over on Recharge about it, do you blame them for getting together?
No. No, I don't. No, I do not.
Because the way I see it, their past over the past, roughly year and a half, the more you think about it, the more it makes sense because of what's happened to both of them.
I agree.
What I mean?
Like I said, they're kind of like kindred spirits of causality, I guess. But the way the universe has kind of laid their path out before them over the last year and a half, the ups and downs that each of these guys have had, and how all of it lately has ended in downs, at least as far as like we may see it on the outside. Seeing the two of them get together and just decide to run roughshod, that's their thing right now. I don't think this has much to do with worrying about how they win or worrying about whether anybody likes him. I don't even know. I mean, you got Echo in the corner yelling at McDiamond. Why don't you just quit? Why don't you just stay down while Brew lays a side slam on him that virtually planted him like a kush seed in the middle of the ring? And he's yelling at Mick to just stay down. Never heard that stuff coming out of Echo. Never. He's somewhere else. But it's violently dangerous.
I think he's had enough.
I think he had more than enough, bro. And I think Brew was in the same spot.
I mean,
old school,
look at what Brew went.
Powers handshake. I
Look
wouldn't
at
doubt it.
what, yeah, I mean, look at what Brew went through over the past year and a half between Legion
Mhm.
and then Navajo and, everything that he's going on health wise and all that stuff. And then Echo with the whole getting screwed out of a couple opportunities at singles runs and, JK Pop being sore in his side. And, apparently there was a thing between him and Balaam. And, you have two conflicting bodies combining into one unstoppable force at the moment.
It's pretty unstoppable from what we saw this evening. Who's going to stop him? I believe a match with Chopper City would be explosive, but who else going to stop them?
All right, moving on to the main event here. Your favorite time of the night. Atiba going one-on-one with the Russian Sergey, the Ignition champion.
Sergey! And by the way, this match, I don't know if people heard it right when the bell rang. This match was for the Ignition Championship.
Yeah, it was late.
It was a little late, but it doesn't matter. This match was for the Ignition Championship, and to me, that changed the game because we could see, champion versus champion, right? And it's Atiba versus Sergey, tag team champion versus Ignition champion, and then we hear that the Ignition title is on the line, and Atiba has a chance to win a second title along with his tag team championship.
Atiba
And that's
two
pretty
belts?
big. Yeah. I didn't want to say it. I really didn't want to say it too much, but yeah,
You could say it now because of the ending.
It could have very well been Atiba two belts. However, it was not Atiba two belts. This match. Okay, so John, you and I were watching this match in the Discord before we watched. This match had everything. If you love professional wrestling, this was your match tonight. There was seriousness. There was like intense matchup. There was comedy. There was like good wrestling. There was just so very much. Sergey hit something from the top rope. Like literally, there was something in this match for absolutely everybody. You got Sergey trying to outshuffle Atiba. Like they're messing with each. Sergey's having a good time. Atiba's having a good time with it. Like I think Atiba got it. You don't have to always go in the ring and just be mad at the other guy. That happens a lot, and Atiba's been there quite a bit, but Sergey's a little more fun-loving, handshake and high fives before the matches and stuff, and Atiba plays along a little bit. I think because he knows he can out-wrestle Sergey probably like 3-1, 4-1.
I think most
50 to
people
1.
on the RMP roster can out-wrestle Sergey. It's just the fact that Sergey probably has the biggest horseshoe on the face of the earth right now, up as you know what.
I don't know. Okay, wait a minute. I got to debate that. I don't know
Oh, you
if
can debate.
all of it has been a horseshoe. I think that a lot of it has been right place, right time. But
Exactly.
but I didn't say all of it. A lot of him, he's put himself in situations because he's been training, because he's learning new moves, because he's not making the same mistakes over and over again. We've seen him get a little better at different things. He doesn't fall getting into the ring anymore. I mean, let's put it that way. He still keeps forgetting to take the belt off.
Oh, I'm not
But the
saying he
refs,
hasn't improved.
no, but I was very doubtful that he would be able to defeat Atiba tonight. I'm just going to go out and say it because I think that was the general sentiment of the chat. Like we've seen Sergey have the good matches, but this is Atiba. This is a two-time Rocky Mountain Pro champion, current tag team champion. And it got to a point where I think Atiba decided to stop with the fun and games. There was a lot of like chopping back and forth, and the crowd was stupid divided in this. Sergey's and Atiba's, and the crowd was stupid divided. And it was good because it was loud the entire time. They had the fans engaged the entire time. Both of these guys are so entertaining when they're in the ring. But I think it got to a point where Atiba wasn't playing around anymore, and he has a decent advantage. And we see him actually go for a flapjack, and we've seen him win matches with it. And Sergey has the wherewithal to chop Atiba in the head on the way down and get himself out of a flapjack. He did it twice throughout the course of this match. So to me, that shows Sergey going to school, watching a little bit of film on Atiba, seeing what's coming and how to, get around it. And we know Sergey's favorite weapon is the chop. Same thing with Atiba, man. Chopper City. So that's why I got on the show tonight, man. I
That's
was
such a
all
good
chopped
chant.
liver.
I'm sorry, but that
It's
right
so
there,
good.
it fits.
So good.
And yeah.
It's better than like Chopper City. No, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no. Do the Florida State Chopper City. It's great.
I
It's
always wanted to
outstanding.
go to one of those games like in Atlanta or Kansas City for the Chiefs and stuff like
Yeah.
that, or Florida State where they do that chop. I mean, it is deafening when the crowd does it at those stadiums. And I
Oh,
mean
it is. Yeah,
that chant, fits the bill for Chopper City. And it's definitely catching on.
it is. And even Sergey got himself caught up in it. Even he was chanting it a little bit, but then he gets the idea to go for the chops because it's working. He's got to. Sergey's actually, you got to give him props here. He really did a good job controlling Atiba for the half of the match that he did. This wasn't, for the most part, maybe not half of the match, but maybe a good solid third of it that he did have some decent control. Even Atiba having the XP bar far bigger. Oh my God, far bigger. But Sergey did a real good job, except until he went to the top rope. He went for a chop off the top rope after Atiba had already moved. I think he was just so geared and so juiced to be up there. He thought the only way to get down was to jump. But he chopped his hand into the ring, and Atiba saw it. And I think this was like the moment where he said, all right, you know what? If he hit that, I could have lost this match. I'm not playing around anymore. So Atiba goes right at the hand, the stomps, the knees, even the chops right to Sergey's hand, just kind of getting frustrated a little bit. Not necessarily that Sergey is winning, but that maybe Sergey could have won with that one move if he landed it. I don't know, but a frustration element kind of seemed to have taken over for Atiba there. Atiba kind of gains control for a little while, but then Sergey kind of gets up and they meet on the outside of the ring on the turnbuckles there, and they start climbing to the top. And we know this usually never ends well for Sergey, absolutely ever, until this time, John. It was this time. He throws Atiba, gets the chops, and Atiba falls into the ring. And then we see Sergey land the big elbow drop from the top rope. A sit-down elbow drop, not Macho Man style, but it was more like sit-down.
No, it was far from that.
Right, right. No, it was like a sit-down elbow. And he nailed it. He nailed it. And he won. He pinned Atiba. 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. Well, in the left third of the ring anyway, but he still pinned Atiba. This is, in my opinion, for Sergey's young career, this is landmark. I don't think Atiba did anything wrong in this match. I can't even say that there was a mistake.
Landmark?
For a Sergey to beat Atiba clean?
I mean,
yes.
he beat a Zamore for the Ignition
I know, and that was
Championship.
landmark too. These are landmark wins. These are, for such a young guy to go up against guys that have been doing it for so long and are established stars. Sergey is showing that he is putting the work in and that he wants to belong, I think. Because he is hanging with the big fellas. He's hanging with the Atibas. He's hanging with the Zamores. And he's going out and he's kind of getting it done. No offense to anybody in the chat who's lost to Sergey before. But at the same point, we were laughing at Sergey 6-8 months ago when he was coming out and he was falling, just getting into the ring and getting annihilated. Now he's worked his way up to Ignition champion, and he beat a tag team champion. He beat an Ignition champion. This is another like meteoric kind of rise to me, John. Like, I'm stunned. Like I said, and I was talking about it after the match ended. I was stunned. I was stunned the night that he beat Zamore for the Ignition championship. I was stunned then too. This feels the exact same way to me. This is outstanding for Sergey. I don't think Atiba needs to take anything wrong out of this because he fought a hell of a match.
I think if you replay this match 20 times, Atiba comes out on top between 18 and 19 times.
I completely agree.
Tonight is the one.
Completely agree with you.
Oh, we actually have the former Ignition champion Zamore in chat as well. He probably attest to Sergey.
And he just said he was stunned as well. big. That's big.
Jason McCombs, does Sergey have a tag partner? Um,
I don't think
yes
so.
and
Has he
no.
tagged?
Yes
Did
and
he tag
no.
with Mick Diamond like
No,
last week?
Tengu.
Oh, that's right. Yes, he did tag with Tengu a
It
couple
was only
times.
like once or twice.
I think it was like twice. Yeah, a few months ago.
Sergey
Yeah.
hasn't been in a lot of tag team matches. He's mainly been a singles guy.
Yeah, because he keeps tagging the other corner.
He keeps tagging the other corner. He hasn't really grabbed the concept of tag matches yet. One one step at a time
Right.
for
There's a lot of
Sergey.
different strategies. He hadn't quite learned all of it yet, but
um, I
no,
mean,
right. A win's a win.
if you're a RMP member at tier 2 for $9.99, you can go back to Peak of the Pack this past year and see exactly what we're talking about when Sergey and Tengu tagged for the first time. You'll know exactly what we're talking about. But getting back to a T-Bird and Sergey, yeah, I would say it is a huge win for Sergey in terms of his career and his standing in Rocky Mountain Pro right now. There's no doubt about that. That was a win in retrospect of that. We've also seen Sergey definitely luck out on multiple different occasions. Um, really, when he got the chance to wrestle Zamori for the Ignition Championship, I mean, he literally just collapsed and Brew just ran. Well, not collapsed. That was the match before. When he got scared and saw Brew coming at him, and he just kind of
Yeah.
went like this and raised his knee up, and Brew just hit his head on his knee and then just collapsed. And Sergey's like, "Oh, okay, 1, 2, 3."
People
You know
would
what I
call that
mean?
a good counter. Some people would call that a good counter. A guy's running at you with his head down. Put your damn knee up. Albeit Sergey
That wasn't
did it
the intent.
in
That
no,
was
he
not
did
the
it in
intent.
like, the chicken shit position. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna die. But at the same time, Brew ran right into his knee.
It's going to be very interesting to see where this win puts Sergey. Because you also got to remember that Ignition title means a lot more than just the face value of that title. We've seen that title get cashed in a couple times for certain opportunities. I'm not saying that Sergey is going to be going down that road, but I think for somebody that has beaten someone like a Tiba, who is also one
Uh-huh.
half of Chopper City and one half of the tag champs right now, um, that kind of puts Sergey in a spot where if he really felt confident, he could probably, I guess make a run at the next step if he really wanted to. Granted, I think he likes being the Ignition champion. I think he's just going to stay on Ignition, and it seems like he has a lot of fun on top of that. Besides,
I think so. I mean,
put the wrestling aside, Sergey seems to be enjoying Ignition a lot,
agreed. He's
and
having a blast out there. So much
yeah,
so he doesn't even want to take the belt off when it's his match time.
it's true. Yeah.
It's
But this win does bring up conversations. You know what I mean? And there's no
does.
denying that. I mean, Brew, Zamore, Atiba, all within like a month and a half.
Mhm.
It says a lot.
That's a big confidence.
It says a
What
lot.
does that do? That's a lot of confidence in the man's belly, and there is precedent set for that. I know we really haven't talked about it since Sergey has become the Ignition champion, because it was never really, to be honest, anything that ever crossed the masshole's mind that he would ever take that step to try to do what we've seen done before. I believe it was Sky Hossman that
Sky
did it the
Hossman, I
first time.
believe, was the first and only one. We thought Zamore was going to
Yes.
do it for a while, but
No, but he was
he
reigning
stayed.
strong.
Yeah.
Yep. And it was something that I would have never even thought of Sergey attempting to do it, because you have to completely relinquish it in order to do it. It's a big, big deal. I think you're right, though. I think he loves Ignition. I think he likes being there. He likes being the guy on Ignition, coming out and hello, everybody, and doing his
Yeah.
thing. Like, I think he feels really, really at home on Ignition. However, at some point, how much confidence is in your belly before you go, I can do that? I have that option. Now we have to sit and kind of discuss this, that could very well be a possibility, which
The way that I
3
see it
months
right
ago, I
now,
don't think it would have ever been a possibility.
the way that I see it, I have a hard time believing that Sergey's even thinking about that right now. I think, like I said earlier, Sergey is just kind of focusing on improving and being Sergey.
Do you think he even knows that that's a thing?
Pretty sure he doesn't, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm gonna be flat out honest with you. I'm pretty sure
That's the other
Sergey has
question.
no idea that that's a thing, and quite frankly, I don't think we want that. I don't. We kind of like Sergey as the face of Ignition right now. I think Sergey as the face of Ignition just makes Ignition that much more better, knowing that you're guaranteed to have a good time with Sergey on the card.
It was such an entertaining main event tonight. The physicality was good. The entertainment was good. Even the chop fest, which I have a little bit of thing about chops. If you know the show, you know the history. But all of that main event was pro wrestling to me, to the mass hole. That had every little thing that I love in pro wrestling. Thank you, RMP. Brought like the 12-year-old kid out of me while I was watching that main event.
All right. That wraps up Ignition for this week. Before we do anything else, before we start getting ready to wrap everything up, let's actually go over to chat. We haven't really been able to talk with chat too much because we did run a little bit late this evening with Tommy and Queen and Jason McCombs, which, okay, apparently changed his name to Nukem 3D. Okay, so he was from Twitch and moved over to YouTube. Okay. What's
Nuke 'em.
up? Welcome to YouTube.
Let's nuke the bastards.
We had Hunter. I'm going. Oh, the chat didn't clear from Ignition. So yeah.
Oh, Remaster checked in saying, "What's up?" You can't blame
Remaster
anyone
checked
for
in.
belts.
Yep.
No,
Yep.
you don't blame him for going for the second title. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah, and we had Zamori in here.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
He's gonna
Forgot
probably back
my
me into a
real
corner
na-
next time I'm in Denver and be like, "I am one of those guys that lost to Sergey. Don't talk about that." Sorry, Z.
I forgot my real name was on YouTube. Don't worry, kayfabe still exists. I completely forgot what your real name was anyway. I'm just gonna pretend that name wasn't there.
La 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 la.
La
What
la
name?
la 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 la.
What name? What name?
Um,
Tag Nukem. You're in. Let's go.
there
One,
it is.
2, 3.
I think that was it that I've seen. Rumble, we've had quite a bit of viewership over there. So again, thank you for Rumble, for everybody tuning in over there. Not a lot of chatters, but Rumble is not really the chatting platform as of right now, at least yet. However, it is growing little by little.
Cool.
Um,
Wrestling fans everywhere, baby. Doesn't matter what app you use. We're all wrestling fans. Let's all watch it and love it together.
All right. So I believe that's everything in terms of chat. Because I would have felt better if we just ignored chat the entire night. So we put a couple minutes in there and make sure we do that. We're going to try and do that more often, as a matter of fact. Probably towards the end of streams. We'll probably chill with chat for a few minutes. We would do it a little bit longer, but we had a late start because epiphanies happen and we found out a lot of stuff that we can't do into RMP's offline. So
yeah, that whole same channel thing.
Yeah,
2,000 miles apart thing. And yeah, good stuff.
All right. So in terms of locally for Rocky Mountain Pro, if you are in the Denver area this weekend, starting tomorrow, RMP Live is going to be at Summit Tacos. I don't know the exact location because I'm 2,000 miles away and I have no idea where it is.
Yeah, but I like tacos.
I like tacos too.
I love tacos.
Last year was great.
Top Taco was awesome.
Top Taco was great.
Oh, that was awesome. One of the most fun shows I ever worked in my life. So
RMP is going to be at Summit Tacos tomorrow. Saturday, they're going to continue their brew tour that they do during the summer months. They're going to be at Ramiro's in Lafayette. And Sunday they're going to be at Snowpack in Conifer. So a full 3-day weekend with RMP Live on the road, traveling to all these different places. And I believe there's more events coming up within the next month or two, not just October, but other live events that are currently being booked and worked on. So stay tuned for
Beautiful.
that. Make sure you follow all the social media platforms, RMP Wrestling on all the socials, Twitter or X, whatever the hell you want to call it now, Instagram,
They should just call it Twix. They should call it
Twix.
Twix now.
Twix.
Or Twixer. There you go. There's one. Twixer.
Instagram, Facebook. What?
Warhammer's in chat. Warhammer, Marin, they just popped in and said hi.
What's up, Marion? What's up, Lilith? How you doing?
Just talking to chat 2 seconds ago. Good to see you. Piss a match tonight, kid. Awesome match tonight.
So that's what's going on for RMP this weekend. As far as us, the dudes, will be back on Sunday for another episode of the Dudes and Belts Rewind with Lucas Bradwell, the guy who you saw at Ignition on commentary this evening. We are going to go back to, I forget what episode we are on now because it's too late and I am exhausted.
I think summer of 2013. We're approaching milestone.
I think we're 10 days away from milestone 3. I think the last I saw.
Yes, we are approaching fast.
Do you remember what episode number it was?
I think the next one we watch is 12.
I don't think we're that far. I think that's past
I think we are. No.
No,
I think we watched 11.
Hold up. Okay, time out. You finished 9:30 before I came back. You finished the second half of 9, right?
Yeah. And then you came back
and we watched 10. So
we're
on 11.
Okay,
we're on 11.
Excuse me. I was one. Excuse me.
You were wrong.
Excuse me.
You were wrong. Bum, bum, ba-dum. Because I don't have my soundboard no more.
Damn it, I was over by 1 penny and I still lost.
So I'm getting tired of not having these sound bites anymore. So this weekend, on top of all the other work that I'm going to be doing for this channel, I am going to be putting sound things on this little stream deck over here, and hopefully I can do it. And if I'm able to pull it off, then we're going to have some stupid sound effects.
Excellent. We need them. They add little emphasis here.
You need a lot of things, dude. My weekend is legit just sitting here in the office and working on everything about the show. Literally everything. So I got a long weekend ahead of me. Thank God it's raining all weekend, so I won't be on the bike. I won't have to worry about that. But going to be a long weekend nonetheless. Anyways, Sunday, Dudes and Belts Rewind with Lucas Bradwell. 10 days away from milestone 3. Like I said last week, we're going to try and schedule a day where we can have like a milestone day. And we might start a little bit early and like watch milestone 1, 2, possibly 3 at the same time. If not, at least 1 or 2, and then maybe push milestone 3 for the following week.
We watched milestone 1, I believe.
We watched the match for milestone 1. We didn't watch the entire
that's
thing.
true. We saw Jesse Williams versus Superstar for the title. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we didn't see the whole show. That's right.
So that's coming up. Hopefully, I can get all that, and we can kind of push that and organize that. And we're gonna push, and we're gonna push for an earlier start time too, so we make sure we're able to watch at least 2 out of those milestones, and then push the next one over the following week. That's the ideal situation. I am right now working on the once a month live stream with the RMP talent for members only. So if you want to be a part of that stream and you want to ask questions with talent from Rocky Mountain Pro, make sure you become a member at least tier 1 at $4.99. You get all the emotes and the badges and all that stuff, and you get that opportunity to talk to talent. That once a month stream that we have specifically for members and chat. and obviously tier 2 $9.99. Not only do you get all of tier 1, but you will also get all of the pay-per-views and special premium live events that you get at Rocky Mountain Pro on YouTube. Not just the present and the future, but the past as well, as long as you keep on maintaining that $9.99 every month. And on Rumble, we are working something out so that we can also give that same opportunity to you guys. Excuse me. If you prefer to watch it on Rumble instead of YouTube, we're going to try and make it so it is the exact same way. Tier 1, $4.99. Tier 2, $9.99. And you'll be able to watch the pay-per-views over on Rumble as well as YouTube. They're going to stream at the same time. So that's what we're currently working on right now. It's not official yet for Rumble, but stay tuned. Again, make sure you follow all the socials at RMP Wrestling on all of those platforms, X, Instagram, Facebook, the whole 9 yards. And if you want to follow our socials, because we do updates on any uploaded videos, which that's coming up starting this weekend as well. More uploaded videos on the YouTube channel and Rumble channel will be happening as well starting this week. That's on my list to do this week. You can follow all my stuff at Johnny Deathdrop on all the socials, and Marky Pins. I believe that's your name on all socials.
On Instagram and stuff, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
I don't check the X much. I'm not. I have one, but it's not a good way to get a hold of me. No. Message me on Instagram at MakyPins, MAHKYPINZ.
All right. Other than that, folks, we are going to wrap this bad boy up. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you all the new faces. We saw a lot of new faces tonight on both the Ignition live stream and on Dudes and Belts. So we appreciate you guys for sure. We are live every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday on all these platforms that you're watching us on right now. So make sure you tune in. And we'll be covering everything Rocky Mountain Pro, and of course on Sunday for the rewind as we go back in time into the beginning of Rocky Mountain Pro and where it originated from. And we got a lot of content to go through. I tried to do the math on all that to get, so if RMP stopped everything, all content making, all shows for like 2 months, and we just went straight through, we're talking between the pay-per-views and shows, we're talking like about 3 years.
Right. Worth of content that yeah. No, there's got to be a couple thousand hours of content.
And that's going live every day, 7 days a week.
Right, 2 hours at a time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, there's a lot. But it's been cool going back to the wicked OG beginning. When we started doing the rewind, we started back at the beginning of Rocky Mountain Pro Charged. We got through that first season. I believe it was, 2015, 16, something like that. But then we started going back and watching NRW from 2011 and really getting the OG old school. And it's good stuff. It is really good stuff. Some familiar faces.
It's just nice to see like the quality. Like you watch our shows on Sunday and you see the quality from back in 2010 to like 2013 or 14 where we're currently at right now. And then you look at the product now and you can see the amount of strides and improvements and how huge Rocky Mountain Pro has gotten over the course of the past like 6 years, that it's really mind-blowing just to sit there on a Sunday and be like, that was them and this is now. And we're talking like I want to say like 320 like P is what a lot of these shows were back then. Like it's pretty bad at times.
HP was very brand new.
Yeah.
All that stuff was, remember when even the most basic 720 TVs, they cost like $1,300. Now you can go out and get one for like a $50 bill.
Yeah, I mean, like,
it's just the evolution of how. But you're right.
The
it's
quality,
crisper,
the audio,
sharper,
the everything. Yeah.
Everything's gotten so much better.
It's
so much better.
It's just amazing to watch, like the progression and the evolution of Rocky Mountain Pro to where we are right now. We're getting ready for episode 360 coming up on Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like, been around for a very long time. Lucha Smoles. I'm probably butchering that name. It's been a long time. We'll forever love the dudes and bells. We greatly appreciate you over on Twitch.
Yo, thanks, man. Appreciate you. We have a good time doing this. It's fun watching and it's fun talking about it. And we could be knuckleheads in our own way here during the show. It's good stuff. Thanks for appreciating it.
Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to sign off. We will see you guys on Sunday on all these platforms. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. Well, actually, it will be Mountain Standard Time soon. So Mr. Fourth Row doesn't have to yell at me every time now. Yeah. We're getting towards that time where that's acceptable. I don't care what Mr. Fourth Row says. That's the way it is. All right.
Well, for all of us, get merch at his stand. Talking like that, he's never going to sell your merch.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. Anyways, as always, folks, thank you so much. Stay safe, stay classy. We'll see you on Sunday, and I hope you have a good weekend. We'll see you then. Take care, folks.